Welcome back. It's 9:01, the 22nd of May 2025. Good to have you. Hope you're good out there. So today we're switching gears to another fine discussion, distant parenting and the psychological impact it has on children. This, if you either a kid or a child to a parent, or you're a parent to a child, somehow you are in between. So you must have to be somebody's father or somebody's mother or somebody's father or somebody's sister. You just have to be a human being in order to be called that. But then we know these days, with the way and manner that things have turned out in this country, given the amount of monies that people spend when it comes to feeding, given the amount of time that they take when they go to work, it becomes really difficult to have this parenting within the home. So we'll talk about distant parenting today, and we have a clinical psychologist today and a social worker, Chief Felix Nweze. Good to have you, Chief. Good to have you again for the second time in at least 2 months.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
You're welcome.
How do you do?
Good.
Right. Several factors you would say have attributed, or you could place your hands on as the reasons why we have distant parenting today. Can you highlight these factors? And do you think there are some things that can be deepened in terms of resolving the issues?
Well, distance parenting is unavoidable. However, it is a situation where either the parents or both parents are far from home. This could be occasioned by work, relocation, mental instability, and military deployment. Because if you are working as a police officer, for instance, and you are posted posted to Enugu, stayed 5 years with your family. The next 6 years, you are deployed to Lagos. You will find it difficult to take your family from Enugu to Lagos. So definitely, distance parenting must occur. However, it has its own disadvantage or consequences. But before then, we should understand that it's not only when you are not at home. You may be at home, but you are not at home. That is to say, we have physical distance parenting, we have emotional distance parenting, and we have psychological distance parenting. Physical distance parenting can occur when either or both parents are not at home at all. Emotional distance parenting can happen in a situation where the parents or either of the parents is or at home, but disconnected from the children emotionally. And psychologically, it could be as a result of mental health issues or constrained relationship. This is a situation where you don't connect with the children as a result of mental challenges, because you may harm them. So you see that the father or the mother or both are at home, but they are not parenting in the real sense of parenting. So there can be emotional disconnection, there could be physical disconnection, and there could be psychological disconnection. So either of these is the distance parenting.
This is interesting. So it's not necessarily that the two parents are not available. That's what is distance parenting. You can be in the house,
Yeah.
but you're still distant from the
Yes.
kids.
So when you are at the house, when you are in the house, and you are not emotionally connected to your children, you are as good as not being there. You are available, but you are not available. You are physically present, but there is disintegration, there is disconnection between you and the children.
What causes that specifically?
Yeah, this could be, if we go into consequences of this distance parenting. One, it causes low self-esteem. If a child is not properly parented, especially as it concerns emotional parenting or emotional availability of parents, this child may suffer low self-esteem because his or her emotional needs are not met. And I know some time ago we talked about types of parenting here, and we talked about authoritarian and authoritative parenting. So it has a severe consequences on children. Again, you could be available, but you don't have this psychological connection with these children. In other words, they are neglected. Take for instance, you are working. You leave your house by 6. Probably before you wake up, these children have gone to school. The school bus or whatever have picked them to school. You leave by 6. By the time you are coming back, they're already sleeping. Before they wake up, you have already gone. So you find out that you are not connected with these children. Nobody cares about their emotion. The physical needs can be provided, but nobody cares about their emotion. They are neglected emotionally. And this can cause a whole lot of problem. It can cause depression. It can cause deviance, especially in adolescence stage. It can cause anxiety. It can cause insecurity. The child will feel not safe. It can equally cause that child not to trust anyone. That means the emotional needs of these children are left in the hands of caregivers. And like we say in Igbo parlance, so you can't substitute mother or father for anything. So the services of caregiver has its limitation. So this distance parenting, let us understand it that is not majorly when you are not physically present. Therefore, if you are physically present, be emotionally present, be psychologically present. That your work is taking you out of home does not mean that you cannot find an ample time to be connected with these kids. Now, if you are not living together in the same place with your children, there are ways out. The technology has made some of these things easier. Maintain constant calls. Maintain constant chatting. Care. Very important. Ask about them. So that there will be no disconnection. Even though you are not physically present. But you can connect with them. And then connect with their emotion. And deal with their psychological needs. Otherwise, you are leaving these children to be nuisance in the society tomorrow.
Your first statement this morning was it is unavoidable.
Very, very, very unavoidable.
So it's possible that it's happening everywhere.
It happens everywhere.
So there's no family that you don't have distant parenting?
Well, you can't say all families, because there are families that are living together. But as I said, they may be living together, but they may be not emotionally living together or psychological living together. So if you take statistics, you may find out that 80% out of 100 are distance parenting.
Do you think economic factors plays a role?
Economic factor. Yeah. Of course, as I said, in terms of physical parenting, of course, economic factor play a major role. Distance parenting, physical parenting, for instance, as I said, you may be working here in Enugu, for instance, as a federal personnel, and next month you are transferred to Abuja. Your family is here residing in Enugu. And then you know what it costs relocating with your family every point you are transferred. So it may not be possible to continue relocating them. Days are gone when that is possible, when people are traveling by train. So when you are posted to Kaduna, you just in the night jump into the train and then move out. So it's not really possible considering our security situation. So you find out that it can't be 100% possible. So if that is done, the father or the mother or whoever that is affected will move, or both may move. Again, they may be available, as I said, but are not emotionally available. So in every home, let's say 1 out of every 10 homes, you may find distance parenting, either physically, emotionally, or psychologically.
So how can parents be conscious of these things, and what can they do in order to mitigate against it? Because again, you have painted a picture that seems largely impossible to not reflect with, to not live by, because again, you have to work somewhat. Something has to distract you, even the kids too. I mean, the role should not only be from the parents, it could also be from the kids. Do you also think that the kids have a role in this relationship?
Well, when you talk of any relationship, it's not a one-sided thing. When you come back, the kids also have their own role, welcoming you, telling you their challenges. Some may not. Requires you to do that. How was the school today? How was about this and that? From there, they key in and start telling you other things. You see, the issue is, let us understand that parenting is not formal education certificate. We have to understand that. And that is why we are having a society that is very uncomfortable for everybody today. Parenting is not what you just go to school and learn how to do. Parenting is informal education, non-certified profession. That is what we should understand. And that is to say that prospective mother, father tomorrow have their own mother and father at home. So what you give them is what they're going to give out there. So parenting is not an easy thing. It is a difficult task. Very difficult task. Sometimes when I look at our society and see the kind of mothers and fathers we have today, I feel bad what the society will turn out to be tomorrow. Because these are what we may call mentors, facilitators, they're influencers. So what you shape these children to be is what they're going to be tomorrow. One other consequences of, or psychological consequences of this distance parenting is identity crisis. when you leave these children in the hands of caregivers, they give them a different identity formation, different from what you are formatting. So by the time they find their bearing, you find out that they are having an identity crisis. And that is why sometimes you see a child listening to caregiver more than the mother or the father. And they will be laughing. She's in good terms with the maid. You don't know what you are risking. You see, because this is the person they see on daily basis. This is the person that asks them, are you hungry? This is the person that asks them, have you done your assignment? We are not, as you said, or you asked, whether economic factor plays a role. Yes, you must work. We may have it as an excuse. You must work to provide for their needs. But don't sacrifice that parenting at the altar of working. You must make out time. We are not talking about quantity of time. We are talking about quality of time. If it is 1 hour that you stay with them, let that 1 hour be quality time. It doesn't mean that you sleep around with them from morning till night. No, that becomes laziness. But if you have 30 minutes with them, if you have 1 hour with them, if you have 2 hours with them, let that time be a quality time. It makes more sense than staying around with them. Now let me tell you a story. A family, there is this family. The mother is working with bank. The father is a medical doctor. When they call the mother will say she's busy. The father is busy. So all of them graduated and they moved out. During the mother's birthday, the mother have retired. The mother wants all the children to come back. And they all sent her birthday gifts and tell her that they are busy. You can imagine what it means. So you find out that you are grooming what is a garbage in, garbage out. Mm-hmm. What do you give them? They will give it back to you. So tomorrow you may need people around you. You may need these children around you. And they will tell you that they are busy. So we must find a quality time with these children. As I said, parenting is a task. Parenting is what we start from informal education. And informal education is our home. That is where we start parenting training. And I think everybody should go through it. If you don't go through it, you come out to be half-bred father or mother.
I mean, you made mention of something which was I thought it was quite profound. You said some things like parenting doesn't.
You can see, he's there, but she's there, but she's not there. She's busy with her phone or whatever.
Right.
And so this is just what we are talking about.
I mean, that's another totally different thing entirely, because you have phones these days that can cause distraction. You have TV these days that can cause distraction. We have gadgets that can cause distraction, and it's not only in fact for the parents, also for the kids.
Yeah, but we are talking of parenting. We are not talking of the role of children or a child in the family.
No, parenting, you have to involve the kids.
That parenting is adulthood role. So if you come back and face your gadgets, your TV, your laptop, your phone, by the time they grow up into adolescence and they have access to those things, they pay attention to it and leave you. It's a simple thing. And you are just telling them to learn almost their behavior through the social media. So that you have all these gadgets does not distract you not to pay attention to your family, to the children. As I said, have time for that. If you're working in office, when you close, depending the type of work you are doing, close the office. Don't take your office to the house, because when you are coming to the office, you're not bringing the family to the office. So we must learn how to, separate all these things, knowing fully well that thing you are doing is all about investing in these children. Some people may be trusted, giving them quality education, put them in the best school, do everything that a normal person we see that is best. But you are losing it, because they go out there, the peers will influence them, the school will influence them, teachers will influence them. Do you understand? When they come back, they don't see somebody to ask whether this is true or not. So they take it as it was. It may not be correct. So we must find time to do this parenting. It is a work. However, any day you think of getting married and getting children, bear it in your mind that you have assigned parenting responsibility to yourself.
But it's not even a course that is certificated.
It is not.
It's not. Even when you are getting married, you are even given a certificate first before you even get into it. But I'm just asking, do you think we need a school or a coaching class? Because I know that churches sometimes do it, but it's voluntary. It's not something that that is cast in stone for most churches and for most people who want to do parenting. People just get into relationship, get married, and then start giving birth. They don't care less of what it is where they're coming from, whether they are bringing in their personal thingy, their thoughts process into the home, and then destabilizing the home. So you wonder, really, do you think that we need an institution that can check these things, that would be like a must? You must have to go through this institution in order for you to be a parent or for you to be a husband.
Yeah, we should. And there was, as I said, is non-formal or informal education, kind of. Before a girl will be given out for marriage, the mother or the father will first send the girl to the proposed husband, to the proposed husband's mother. There she will live with the mother-in-law, supposed mother-in-law, for at least about 3 months. Within these 3 months, the prospective mother-in-law is watching her behavior, and she is equally learning from them. After 3 months, she comes back and decide whether this marriage will work or will not work. It's not an institution. Fine. Now, because we are in a civilized society, I advise people to seek for marriage counselors before getting into marriage. I tell you what, my previous experience in my previous office showed me that 70% of divorce cases comes from the elites. So you'll be asking why.
What do you mean by come from elites? What does that mean?
70% of divorce cases come from the elites.
Why?
Why is because they are not properly trained. You see somebody, you just like the physical appearance. You get married to the person. Maybe you are an extrovert. The girl is an introvert, and you want to drag her from that her corner to be attending party with you every day, and she says no. Then you conclude that she's not your partner. pressurizing her because she knows her right, she will say, no, I don't want this. The next thing, she carry her bag and go. And that's ends it. I don't want to marry. We're not compatible. So, I don't know, but it is necessary. Like we said, churches are doing part of it. Good. In churches, Catholic Church, for instance, before you get married, you undergo what they call the marriage course. But how long is this marriage course? They say 6 months. You will find out that somebody may not attend that marriage course, discuss with the cactus, and the marriage course certificate will be given. The person will go ahead and do his wedding. He didn't attend that marriage course, or she didn't attend that marriage course for 1 day. Or she will just attend it 3 days. And that is all. So I will advise the young men and young women, before getting into marriage, look for a marriage counselor. It is important. For those of us who are into it already, look for a guardian and counselor. Look for a clinical psychologist. Look for a marriage counselor. It is important. There are things that you think you know that you don't know. There are things that you think is right that is not right. For instance, in the picture we saw, you came back from work, you face your phone. Maybe that is the time for you to respond to all the text messages you had in the day. But immediately you come back and refreshing up, ask about the children, talk with them, talk with the family. 30 minutes you are off, then you start responding to those text messages. They will be fine. They will know that when our father or our mother comes back, this is what he or she does. Do you understand? So this is what we should know. Let us not pay much attention to the material thing that we are struggling for on a daily basis. It is important, but it's not as important as those children, because all those struggle goes back to them. We are investing it in them. Nobody will like, after that struggle, you see somebody that is not what you expected. You will not be happy. And then you'll be blaming the school. You'll be blaming the child. You don't know that the blame is you, because you didn't give him or her the needed attention required.
Wow. This is an interesting discourse. I wish I could really continue this discussion, because it also borders on society and what we tend to face and what we tend to even get as adults at the end of the day. I want to appreciate you, Chief Felix Nweze. Would keep talking about these things, especially as it concerns the family unit, because it's important and paramount in every other thing that happens afterwards. Because if you don't get the family unit right, every other thing apparently would largely fall apart.
That's the nucleus of the society.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for your time. I truly appreciate you.
You're welcome.
All right, we're back after the short break. Just stay with us.
Save Nature TV. News in your pocket.